Statements and what a statement is in programming. Sometimes you'll hear that, and you'll hear that be something that you'll use when you first start out programming. They'll tell you in class maybe to write a statement. So I have some right here, and this is written in JavaScript, and you can see this is actually is a statement. It says, "Hello, I am a ninja fighter." It's just something I just made up. And so this statement, if you will, if you took this and you rendered this on a website, you would see it would come out like this: "Hello, I am a ninja fighter." It's actually a statement. But when it comes to programming, a statement actually is something that is like a complete instruction, if you will. Think of it as almost like a complete sentence that makes sense to a computer, makes sense to the program. So that sentence that makes sense to a computer has certain syntax or things that go along with it. And you'll notice here that in this particular example here, this particular statement, it has a keyword or reserved word here. It's a naming of a variable that we're taking place. We're actually holding some information inside of a variable called sample, and we're assigning it a value, and that value happens to be a string of characters that's going to print out a sentence into the screen. And so essentially, you think about it, if you think about a statement, it really is just a set of instructions, something that makes sense to a computer, and it's almost like a sentence if you think about that in terms of grammar. Now you'll notice here that there's a semicolon at the end of this. Now some programming languages will require you to have a semicolon. JavaScript, you typically don't have to have it unless you're having like a couple of statements on one line, but you typically don't have to have it. But when you actually render this, you don't see the semicolon written out on the screen. So essentially when a semicolon is used, what you're essentially saying is that's the end of that statement, if you will. So it's used in some languages to actually end. It's also used in JavaScript as a nice way of ending your statement, if you will, when you're writing something in computer programming. So I just kind of wanted to share that, something to think about. And even this next line here, this particular statement, it's a sentence, it's a complete sentence, it's a complete instruction that the computer can understand. And all it is simply saying is write this variable, the value that's in this variable, put that in this document, and let's show that on the screen. And that's why when you go here, you can actually see it being written out. Sometimes when you're in computer programming, the program in which you actually write is doing something behind the scenes and you don't see it on the screen. So not only do I have to write a statement or a set of instructions, a certain instruction to say what I should hold in this variable, but I also need to write a statement or an instruction to tell the computer and the program to spit it out on the screen. So just wanted to share you that and talk to you a little bit about statements in computer programming.